This song I just created about how somebody wants to go into the hood and his friend says to him, I think you're going to get assaulted and possibly killed. It was based on a real life conversation I had with Dr. Garrett, my old CBT psychiatrist. I was always expressing how I was afraid to visit him, to go to sessions with him in Brooklyn, how I was afraid of the hood like East New York, and I said this in early 2017 when I first started seeing him. I was afraid of, I started getting suspicions, could he have had nefarious intentions with the Fountain House? Because that was kind of like a homeless shelter in some ways. He said to me, the true hood is far away from train stations. Like, there's no mass transit to the real hood. And if you were to go there, they would assume you were a narc. They would, like no lily white boys go there, They would assume you were an undercover police officer or a narc or, that's what they would assume. That's probably they would probably leave you alone because they would think it was a sting or like somebody trying to arrest them for drugs or something like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. But the more I think about it, the more it makes me ponder, could Dr. Garrett have, don't speculate, realize Dr. Garrett had good intentions. The Fountain House, I had some of the best experiences of my life there. I met some good friends. I met some, kind-hearted people. The person who nobody was trying to sabotage me. Yes, I had, the HIV accident and scare. But, that was, one time out of, I don't know, maybe hundreds of times I went. And most of the time I had fun with friends and, nobody was trying to sabotage me. Nobody wanted to see me get assaulted or possibly killed. On the contrary, I was sitting in my room, anxious, agoraphobic, afraid of the real world, and they wanted to see me soar and live up to my potential and succeed. That's what people wanted for me.